Dave here at the house. Now we'll be talking about how to adjust the bindings to fit the boots specifically. Starting off, we got the ever so sexy Union Force here. This is kind of an example of a traditional binding. I chose this one because it has an adjustable heel cup as well too. What you're looking at is you basically want the toe ramp of the binding to be matching up with the curvature of the boot. So if it's sticking out way far, you're just going to remove a couple screws here, scoot this heel cup back, and that gets it more centered on the base plate. Union's nice, and they actually have an adjustable base plate as well too, so you can fine tune the heel cup, but also the toe ramp too. Like I said, you just want to make sure the boot's centered, both over the board and over the binding, and you want to make sure this toe ramp is matching the curvature of the bottom of the boot. You don't need to run the boot flush to this. The boot should be overhanging, definitely, by a little bit there. You just want to make sure it matches the contour of the sole of the boot. From there, strap positioning is pretty crucial. Most will have some form of quick adjustment like this, or on the ESTs here. And then some will have more of a traditional piece of hardware like a Phillips head or Allen key to adjust that. Long story short, you just want to make sure that the strap is centered over the toe and centered over the ankle. When you crank on the ratchet and it's as tight as it can possibly be, you typically want about 1 inch of clearance from the base plate, both on the ankle and on the toe here. Almost every toe strap nowadays will go through the bottom of the base plate. This eliminates the need for a screw right here. Saves you a lot of headache. You don't have to make sure it's tight each time. It's not going to come loose when you're riding. Really eliminated a lot of headache when the industry switched over to that. Usually you'll have a couple of mounting positions where you can put it through. To get at those, on the Unions here, you just peel back the base plate, scoot it forward, and you'll have a longer distance between the ankle and the toe. Really good if you're rocking larger boots or whatnot. Once you get it in the slot that you want it in, it kind of just snaps back into place, and when you mount it to the board, it's going to hold everything in place together. Very, very simple, easy way of doing that. Other than that, ratchet replacement, if you ever need to do that, it's usually going to be pretty straightforward. So they're just held on by one screw. You loosen up that screw, ratchet will come right off. Put a new one on there if you need to do that. High back has a forward lean adjuster, pretty much on any model on the market. Forward lean is really, really good for increasing your ability to do a heel side turn. So therefore it works really good for half pipe riders as you're trying to climb the heel side wall. Definitely helps you with that. More advanced carvers or free riders, typically appreciate a little bit more forward lean too. Freestylers tend to like it kind of straight up or minimal to not mess with their tricks and whatnot. On the Unions, very easy to adjust. You just turn that sideways, slide her down, put her back, and voila, you have a ton of forward lean. Don't want that much, flip it sideways, put it up, and it's almost straight up and down. Most will have a quick system like this nowadays. Some will have just a Phillips head screw, but pretty much shows you how to adjust it for any type there. Finally, the last thing that I'm going to mention is high back rotation. I do this on all my boards. A lot of people overlook it, but it is pretty crucial, especially when you're looking at a binding that's put on the board askew like this at an angle. The high back is not matching the angle of the board edge itself. Typically you want to undo these 2 screws on either side of the heel cup, and you'll see it actually has multiple positions on the inside there for twisting the high back. So you want to undo those screws, twist the high back so you can get the high back as parallel to the board edge as possible, and then retighten it back down. Really for a binding, that is pretty much going to be the gist of it. Different companies kind of do it differently, but I think off this one you should be able to figure it out for the bindings that you got. And that's binding adjustment 101. Dave here at the house. One final chapter on the mounting and adjustment of the bindings. I want to show you how the straps should properly fit over the boot when you're setting it up. Basically, like I said, usually you tag it down really quick, put the boot in there, and just look down the length of the board. You want to make sure that the toe is overhanging about the same amount as the heel itself. That way you'll be balanced with your turning and whatnot. Once you know where you want it, you're going to come back down, or come back and just tighten those up, keep them in the right spot. First off, we'll start with the toe. You want the strap to be centered over the boot. You want it to, if it's a toe cap, you want it to cup, both the bottom and the top, and you want about 1 inch on the other side here of the strap showing. That's going to ensure that even if the boots break in or the straps stretch out, you've got a little extra room to crank it when you're looking at demanding conditions. Most of the stuff will have like a quick adjust system to it. Like here with the ankle strap, just going to loosen this up. It's on a telescoping system. What you want to do from here is just kind of center the strap over the boot. You can also kind of crank on the one side. Once again, you want about 1 inch from the ratchet or the end of the strap to the base plate. Once you find a good spot where it's centered, everything's going to be good. You just go back in, throw the little quick adjust back in there. Super easy. Tighten it back down, and you're ready to rock. It's pretty simple. Just make sure the straps are centered. Make sure that you have about 1 inch of clearance when it's fully ratcheted down. And then make sure the boot's centered on the board, toe ramps matching up. Fairly straightforward with most of the newer bindings. And like I said, if you ever have any questions, you can always give us a shout.